Alrighty. Oh, it's Monday morning. We're just seeing what we got on the scanner. The only good trade today so far was GCTK, 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 GCTK. That's a 30-second. Let me go to a 1 minute. Right here, we had a nice little spike. We broke the VWAP up here and we were running up right here, up into this area. And we had a micro pullback right here. And when we broke that micro pullback, that is a good trade right there. And the stop would have been at the low, so that's like a 50-cent stop. Now, this trade was done before I started streaming, because I was just getting to the market, and then as it started coming back down here, I got out at about 30 cents. So that's just a small trade for the day. And as you can see here, it just kind of sold right back off again. And I wouldn't touch it right now just because look at that 5 minute right there, that 5 minute candle. When I took the trade, when it ran up and it broke the VWAP and the MACD was separating and it was positive, and I just would have gotten out of the trade. I just would have taken the trade because the 5 minute, as you can see here, is running up. When you're breaking that micro pullback, the 5 minute, if you look at the bottom right, the 5 minute is making higher lows. So you can go ahead and get on that. Don't overstay your welcome. Get your money. As soon as you start seeing an indecision candle like that, you need to get out. LMFA is trying. I don't know. No. 5 minutes not looking good, so I just wouldn't deal with it because look at the 5 minute here. It's just selling off. That's LMFA. HSDT, HSDT. That's a good trade. 5 minutes making higher lows. That is HSDT. HSDT, if it can break the 15, we might be able to run. HSDT. HSDT has news. Helix announces positive outcome of the portable neuromodulation simulator. HSDT is got news. Have to see if it picks up. News came out at 7 a.m. If you were getting in on this pullback, your stop would be down here at 1312. HSDT 473 and 16 break. Definitely getting. I'm trying to stay concentrated. I'm trying to get rid of some stuff. I need to go to the 15-second chart. I'm still holding. HSDT. Yeah, I usually get quiet when I'm trying to trade. Sorry about that. We'll get better at walking people through the trades. Right now it's consolidating, and if it breaks this low, we could sell off, but this bull flag, if it breaks, we might be able to get in on no. This bull flag, we got the volume that's coming in. We got some wicks there. It looks like it's pushing down. We had a doji over there, about 2 bars back. We've got 1530. I just added to the trade. We'll see what we can do. If it breaks down, I'm going to dump everything. And I'm going to start getting out. My cost average is 1538 because I added to it. $15.38, come on to 16. We got 15.70, 15.84. The spread's kind of big, but that's okay. The 5 minutes still looking good. Cost average is 1538 because I added to it, and I'm getting out completely. HSDT, go over that. HSDT, I'm buying it at. Okay, so HSDT, and this, all right, HSDT. HSDT had some news. Here, let me go get some coffee first. Actually, a refill. Um, that was a pretty large trade. Uh, if you look at a 5 minute, it keeps making higher lows. But if we can't break this bar right here, if we can't break if we can't break 1680, I don't think we're going to go to 17. Right now, I'm just checking to make sure the stream has actually started. Yeah, it is. All right. Yeah, HSDT, I think it's played out. It's done. HSDT was good. So HSDT, we had news at 7 o'clock. Helix announces positive outcome of the portable neuromodulation simulator, PONS, stroke registrational program, upcoming submission to FDA under breakthrough designation. So that was the news of HSDT. Came out 7 o'clock, so it came out like right here. So we had a nice little pop on the news, and then it showed up. So as it popped on the news, we were waiting for a pullback. Now we got this pullback here, and then I was thinking, okay, great. We're getting this pullback, but then we made a lower low here, so you would not get in because you're making a lower low right here, and that's a little leery. So if you jump down to that 704, so you're making lower lows right here. This is trading below the VWAP. So this is not that good. This broke the VWAP, and as the volume started coming down, this broke the VWAP. What I tried to do is I tried to get in. I played this a couple times because the MACD was separating. I played this a couple times. I didn't get in here because it was below the VWAP, but I played a 2-bar break on here, and it came up here to 50 cents. And with the spread that it had, I really wasn't making. I was making some money, but then I was looking for the break here, and it didn't. So when it started coming back, I got out at a break even, and actually I think it was a small loss that I actually took when it came back down. So then once traders started trading it, getting in on the news, that it pushed up here, and then it came back down, and it held the VWAP right here. Now, I noticed that the MACD was moving up. Now, as we pulled back here, the volume was getting lower, and then this volume here on this indecision candle, it was higher. So once we started trading, what I did was I got in right here because it did a 2-bar break, got in right here. Then I added to the trade right here because it broke the high. Now, once it broke that high, it ran up to the indecision candle right up in here for a nice dollar move. So, yeah, let's get that out of there. So, as you can see, it started coming up. The MACD, if you look at that, the green, the volume was coming in, the MACD was getting separated. So it came in, it did the doji candle. I wanted to get a 2-bar break with volume. So I got a 2-bar break, and what I did is I got in right here once, and then more of like a starter trade. So if your average volume is like 1,000 volume for this for a $15 stock, you might get in with like 200 shares. And as it breaks, you might want to add maybe 200 shares and then try to get it. But I went in kind of heavy on this, and then it just kind of ran up. So my starter was down here. Once it broke that high, then I basically got out right here. Once it started trading below, I just got out here for like $1 for like around $1. So take a look at that. That was 1,000. Uh, so I got in 2,000 for yeah. Then I got it out. When did I start getting it? Yeah, 1540. So I started selling at 1557. 1557, which was right down in here, and then I just got out of the rest. So that is how I played it. It was a little hard, but what I was looking at is the news. The news. We had a good catalyst. Nice trade with a good catalyst. So I was thinking, okay, but we tried right here. I actually tried to do it right here because it pulled back and we broke the VWAP, but we held the VWAP and put a starter here, and then it came up. I was hoping that it would break that high, then I would add to the trade, but it didn't. It started coming back down, so then I started getting out, and I think I took a small loss, and because I don't look at my P&L when I'm trading like this. I just look at the chart in the level 2 and stay focused on that because this stuff can slam down pretty quickly. And then once we got to run back up, we had a micro pullback here. You could have gotten in on this micro pullback right here and a break of it, and then ran up for about 50 cents. So the spread, you could have traded that, and then as it came back down, I did a 2-bar break and then traded the rest of that right there. Just because when we had a micro pullback and we had a break of this, you could have gotten in on the break of that. And if it pulls back and comes back to your break even, or you take a small loss, that's fine. You can get back in. You can always get back in and trade it again. But that was HSDT. That was pretty good. All right, what we have here, we got ATNF, ATNF, ATNF. If you were looking at that, that's pretty good. ATNF. That's actually really nice. But there's no catalyst. ATNF. ATNF, there's no catalyst. We got a spread of about a penny, which is pretty good. But there's no catalyst. We got a 30-second chart that is looking pretty good. We had a run up here. ATNF, as it showed up on the RVOL scanner. We had a nice run up here. Could have, and we had a little micro pullback right there. So we started running up. We had a slight pullback. It was kind of like an inside, and you could have traded that, gotten yourself like 5 cents out of that. I know 5 cents may not sound a lot when you're talking about a dollar move on a $15 stock, but 5 cents, I mean, you got like 1,000 shares. It's $50 real quick for you. If you don't have the capital to be going in on a $15 stock with a couple thousand shares, that's fine. You can play these $2 stocks and get yourself 5-10 cents and build your account up. That's one way of doing it. As you can see here, ATNF, as soon as it goes up, it will come right back down. That's why you don't overstay your welcome. When you get the money, get out. In this scoring system that I'm looking at, like ATNF has a good score just because it's making a higher lows on a 5-minute. The anchored VWAPs are looking good because it's bullish, but this is more of like, hey, there's a trade setting up. This isn't a signal to just buy. This is just a signal to say, hey, everything's looking good. Like DFDV is not looking too good. Well, for one, the volume is low, and it has a score of 1.25, which means things are pretty low. But if you look at DFDV, yeah, the VWAP is curling back up, but then again, it's below the VWAP. Session VWAP, it's below the anchored VWAPs. The 5-minute is looking like crap. So that's why it's got a low score. And if we look at LZMH, well, for one, there's no volume there. Let's take a look at LMFA. LMFA, yeah, so we're just trending down. That's not good. HSDT, the score kind of went off because HSDT, as you can see here, we're just kind of below the VWAP. It was moving down. The 5 minutes not looking too hot on that, on HSDT, right up in this area. This is when you want to get into the move right here. If you look at the 5-minute, this is when you want to get into the move, when the 5-minute is moving up. If the scoring system, if it gives you a pretty decent score and the 5-minute is looking like those 2 red bars, and you get it right up in here, don't do it, because the 5-minute is not looking good. Actually, it wouldn't even show up on the score. You give it a lower score because the 5 minute is not looking too hot. Oh, look at that. We broke 7. That's pretty nice. You know, it's hard to play this because you don't know. You had a pull back and had a break of this, but then it kind of pulled back. Had some indecision candles right up in here, and we had a break of the VWAP. And this, I mean, all of this is trading below the MACD. This is starting to curl back up. I mean, if you want to play this, you can wait for, I mean, it popped. You wait for a micro pullback and then make a decision to get in. DFDV showed up. DFDV showed up right here. It's a $27 stock. It showed up right here, but the problem is, I mean, it's got 7 million float, but it's 1,000 volume on a 1 minute. That's not good. You don't want to do that. SABs showed up. There you go. So you got your 1 minute pullback. You can probably jump to a 30-second. So you had a run up here, HSDT. We've got a catalyst. The MACD is good, is looking good. These 2 red bars, the volume kind of was lower. And then as you break this area right here, I mean, you're looking at about 10-cent spread. But as you broke this area right here, 1746, right now it's 1795. If you are in that, you can just, you got 40 cents. You definitely take some and then move to a break even. That's how I would trade it. Don't overstay your welcome. Get you a little, get a little bit of money, take half off, let it ride. You always want to be selling into the pops, take some money off, and then if it gets back to your break even, you can get out. Or you can get fully out. It doesn't matter. Or you can sell half and then just wait. If there's a flag that's happening right now, you can wait for the break and then you can actually add. So if you added on that break, your cost average would be a little bit higher where you got in, but that's fine. And then you can just see where it runs to. HSDT's got some decent volume. HSD. GCTK is below session VWAP, wouldn't touch it. LMFA below the VWAP, session VWAP wouldn't touch it. HSDT is a nice one. That one's trading pretty decently. Got SABS with news. SABS with news. What is that news? Let's look it up here. 178,000 volume. Bio announces oversubscribed million private placement. Okay. Not the kind of news I trade. But if you look at the 1 minute, we got news. What time did that news come out? 7:30. So it came out around in here. 7:30. We had a nice pop. Had a pop. We had a big topping tail. I mean, the 5 minute is looking good. But the problem with this is this area right here. We had a topping tail of about half of the candle. That's a little concerning. So if you do play that, you play that with light volume. Don't go in heavy on that because it's not a A+ setup trade. A+ setup trade is when it's trading up and you have a slight pullback, not a large wick like this, and then the other 5 minute it keeps pushing up. That's what you want to trade. You don't want to trade within 1 minute, pop, and then just sells right off. So if you get in on that trade and you get in on this pullback right here and you get yourself a pop, you definitely want to sell into that. So if you looked at this, I wouldn't trade this just because that topping tail, but if you did trade that and you got in on that hammer right there and you got yourself quite a bit of money, but that's a little risky with that topping tail. Because when you're looking at it like right here. It sells, and then all of a sudden it just pushes right back down. The next one, that right there is telling me that right there is not good. Then you had the next candle. Okay, you got a hammer. The MACD is curling up, but you had the volume there. And you had that candle right there with volume higher than those other ones right there. So you could play the 2-bar break right there at like 330. But then you get it at 330. Once it's up here to 360, you definitely want to be scaling out of the trade. And when it gets up to this high right here, you definitely want to be taking even more profits. And as it comes back down here, you just go ahead and get out if you want. SAMS, SAM, SABS, SABS. HSDT pulling back. It's not looking too hot. Just looking for the next news. SABS was an okay trade. I just didn't like those topping tails. That's a little crazy. But you can play it. That topping tail, that would scare me. Even on these trades right here, even with the volume coming in, that would kind of scare me a little bit because what I'm thinking is we would go ahead and try and pop and then we'll just push it right back down. But if you did play it, you can play it with very light volume. starter trades. And as you can see right here in the 5 minute, we had topping tails right here. We got a topping tail right here. We got a topping tail forming right here. And I mean, right now it's breaking the VWAP. MACD looks like it could be curling back down. You could HSDT. You can jump to a 30-second. Yeah, see, the MACD is just kind of flatlining right now. If you made your money with HSDT, you might want to just leave it alone. I made my money and I'm leaving it alone. But that's me. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. Trading is risky and you need to trade at your own risk tolerance. But we had some decent trades. We broke the VWAP. We reclaimed it right here. We had a indecision. I'm sorry. We had an inside bar right there. MACD was kind of zero. And then once you broke that area right there, this area right up in here, we had a nice green candle, inside bar. We had a nice break. We had a micro pullback with the MACD separating. So you can get in on that break right there and make about 50 cents on that trade. It's trading like at a 2-cent spread now, 5 cent. I think when I was trading it, it was like 15, 20-cent spread. But what I did was I traded it up in this area right here. As we were looking at pullback, volume was kind of drying up. Then a little doji candle. We have some nice volume that was picking back up. 2-bar break. Broke that bar. Broke that second bar. Started a trade. It was breaking the highs. Then started taking profits right there, and then that pop started selling, and indecision candle right there started selling. And then as we started breaking back down, that's when I just got out of the rest of it. This is more of like an ABCD pattern. You got like you got this right here. You got A, B, C, and then you get in on the break right there. Boom. So the market popped on the news, sold off, ran up, couldn't break the high, sold off right there, right up in here, right up in here. This area right here is a low. This area is a low. That right there is a higher low. And then we popped. That's what you're looking for. Trading above the VWAP. We had some consolidation right up in here. and we did pop it. Looks like it's trying to come back down. Jump to a 15-second. You can always jump to a lower time frame when you're trying to get in. If you get in, like right here, get in, let's say at 741. You want to look to, if you're looking to get in on this trade at 741, you can jump to a 30-second. Take a look at it at 741. Okay, so I can get in on the break of that inside bar. The stop is at 15.89, 30-cent stop. We popped right here. I got myself 30 cents. I wanted to take half off, and then if we started coming back down to my break even, which we did right here, or if we started that candle right there, you can get the rest of it out. You know, you can always look at a higher time frame, and then when you're playing this area right here, this is kind of bad because it's, you know, the 5 minute is kind of selling off, but you know, it's coming, it's holding the VWAP. You have to make your own decision. And if you look at the 5 minute, we had a little doji right there, right off the VWAP. You could have played the break of that 5 minute right there. And then you can go to a 30-second chart and say, okay, we're breaking that area right there. That's fine. Then you can, that doji candle, you can get in on the break of that, like, I don't know, $17. It was like $17. You can get in on the break of that. Let's say you got in at 1704 and it ran up about 80 cent profit, but you got that doji right there, and once it started breaking below those lows right there, you can get out for like break even. So you want to sell into those pops. As it popped right there and you got yourself 50 cents, you gotta sell. You just gotta. If you're playing that break right there, $17 break, and it pops up here and you got 50 cents, sell it, move to a break even. You gotta do mental stops. Because brokers on pre-market, I think a lot of them, I think most of them, do not allow you to do market orders pre-market. I don't even think you can do market orders from pre-market. You can just do limit. You have to do limit orders, and you have to do mental stops. That's why the hotkeys are good. You can get in on hotkeys, and then just let's say you're playing this break right here, and you're coming up here, and the volume is picking up. You can do like shift 1 to get in like 1,000 shares there. You can do shift 1, get in another 1,000 shares. As it pops, let's say shift S is your sell key and you're selling like 1,000 at a time and you're in 2,000. As it pops, you can do shift S and it sells it with a limit, and then and you can front run, you can offset your limit orders to like 2 cents or 5 cents, however you want to do it. You know, that's how I do it. Let's come back here. GCTK is no good. HSDT. But HSDT, put that right there. SABS. I mean, you could have played that pop right there and got yourself a nice move. SABS could have played that right there, ran up to the highs for about 75 cents. But that's kind of hard to play because of this wick right here. I just would not like that. Which other ones is looking good? HSDT, SABS, GCTK is not looking too hot. AT, yeah, there's not enough volume in a lot of these. LMFA, LMFF. Yeah, that's trading below the session VWAP. You don't want to do that. Now, SABS, let's take a look at SABS, how you could play that. SABS on a 30-second. Let's jump to a 1 minute. I mean, you could have played this. You had a nice hammer right there. And then could have played the break of this right here. MACD curling up. The volume is starting to pick up right there. Came back to the high. That was a little hard for me to play. I don't think I saw it in time either because I was doing something else. But this topping tail, I can guarantee you I wouldn't get in just because that topping tail right there. Now, we had a pullback right here. This pullback with volume is kind of high. Plus, you have the MACD curling back down. That's a little hard to play, but you had some support right in here. So it broke this area right here, and then it came back down to support. As you can see, this area right here, volume was kind of drying up. If you did play that break right there, which I don't know why you would, then it came up here. This whole SABS thing is just telling me I just don't want to trade it. I just don't feel anything here. The BS. Total traded shares on SABS so far for this session is 5.8 million. That's quite a bit. It's this right here, SABS. MACD looks like it's starting to curl back up. If we break this high, 4.25, that'd be nice. Could you go to 4.5? Got some sellers bid. I saw a big order on the bid. Really don't have anything. I'm looking at level 2. I don't see anything. At the $4 mark, I don't see any. No big orders sitting at there. I just don't see it. Got a little wicks right here on these. They're definitely trying to keep it down. I don't think this is people taking profits. I think this is short sellers pushing it down. SABS, number one, 52% change. 7 million float. We got news on SABS. Announces oversubscribed 175 million private placement. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't like it. GCTK was a pretty decent trade before the well, before I started streaming. We had a nice little pop right here, and I was looking to go break that high right there, which we slightly did, but it just kind of sold back off. But we had a nice inside bar right there, and we had a nice little inside bar right there. We had a 5-minute pullback, and it broke that 5-minute, and we were trading up, and it actually broke this 5-minute right here. That top right there above the session VWAP, MACD is separating, and we had a break of that right there. You can add to the trade right there. And as you can see on the 5-minute right there. Right there on the 5-minute. And get yourself a nice little trade. We had some indecision candle. We had another red candle right there. You can get out for about 25 cents. That's a pretty decent trade. I mean, if you've got like 12,000, you can go ahead and get in on that. That was like I would just round it up to like $12 stock. So 1,000 shares would be like $12,000. If you have the account, that's nice. You can get yourself $250 for the morning. That was GCTK. That was before the stream started. But HSDT is the biggest trade of the day for me. Is HSDK. It is so good that I'm not trading no more. I'm done for the day. So we have a pop here. What you want to do is you want to jump down to the 30-second. We had a nice little pop right there with volume coming in, MACD separating. Want to sell into that pop. You can sell all of it, you can sell half of it, and then as it comes back down, you can start scaling out of your trade. That's how you play that. And this right here, if you got in right here, you had a pop, I wouldn't trade this just because of the topping tail right there. When I see a 1 minute and I see big topping tail about half of it, that's just little sketchy to me. But if you did play this and you wanted to play this pullback right here and you wanted to get in on this trade right here, jump down to a 30-second. So as that bar right there, that's an inside bar, did not break the high, did not break the low. We've got that bar. You can get in on the break of that bar right there, or you can wait for a 2-bar break at 1803, and it runs up to 1827. So the spread's like 10-cent spread. I mean, you got to be quick with this because you're popping, you get yourself 30 cents, but then as you can see here, if you held it, you're down like 80 cents. That's why if you get that pop, and you have to look at the level 2 to see if people are hitting the ask, and then you can just go ahead and ride it. If there's no one hitting the ask, then you need to start getting out. Take a little bit of profit, move to a break even. I mean, that's how you trade it. You got to be quick, and you can't hold. You got to be, when you're trading pre-market, you got to be extremely disciplined. Pre-market is not for undisciplined traders. It's just not. You're going to get slaughtered. If you're not disciplined enough to get out and know when you're wrong, you need to get out, because if you don't, you're going to get slaughtered in the pre-market. Pre-market is not for beginner traders. Pre-market is for disciplined traders that have a track record that is consistent. Pre-market, if you want to trade it, you got to start trading, demo trade it, demo. And it's hard for me to stream and trade at the same time, because when I trade, right now I'm very talkative, but when I'm in a trade like HSDT, I was in that trade. I don't even know if I told people I was in. I don't even think I did. Um, I just get laser focused and I just shut up and trade. Now I can teach you how to do this, but oh wow, that RVOL is going crazy. 8 o'clock. FSA. There's nothing there. FSA, 5-minute topping tail. I'd kind of stay away from that. GCTK. I'd stay away. BTCS. I'd stay away. There's not enough volume. INTS. There's nothing there. UGRO. There's nothing there. Yeah, PFSA. PFSA. Let's take a look at this. PFSA. We'll look at the 5-minute. Big topping tail. I'd stay away from that. But this right here is what you're going to be looking at 1 minute. So PFSA, it popped on the RVOL scanner. Okay, great. So it popped on the RVOL scanner and it's moving. You can jump down to a 30-second. Well, if you look at a 30-second, this right here popped, but then the volume's kind of drying up. It's really didn't do much. Now, is it going to break this area, 141, and come up here to the 150, 1/2? Sure, it might do that. We got volume coming in. Okay, so it broke to 141. Let's say you get in there, your stop is going to be down here at 130. I just don't like this because of the topping tails. Yeah, see? I just don't like it because of the topping tail on the 5-minute. And also right here on the 30-second, you popped right here, then you sold off. This candle right here on the 30-second gave you that 1-minute topping tail. See right there? Give you that 1-minute topping tail, and then you just have a bunch of indecision right up in here. So that's telling me at 140 you get that break, you get volume coming in, you can't sell, and it starts coming back down. You need to get out for a break even or a small loss. And you shouldn't be going in at all your weight. You need starter trade. Starter trade here. It pops up. Take a little bit off. If it keeps running and it breaks this high, then you can add to your trade. Cost average is going to go up, but you already have profits already taken. And if it breaks this, then you add to the trade. Your cost average would probably be, if you got in like So hypothetically, if you got in right here and it moves up to here, let's say you got 1,000 shares, sell about 500 of them, and then let's say it comes up to here and it breaks that high, you can add to it and your cost average will be down in here. And then you can, and if you get a nice pop, you can start selling into the pop. If it doesn't, if it's false and then it breaks and then it starts selling, it starts coming back down, you can get out. You already took profits right up in this area, and then you added to this area. If it pops up here, that's good. If it starts coming back down, then you want to get out where your cost average is. Because you already took a little bit off the table. You know, everybody's stuck on this 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to, everybody's stuck on that. And I'm just trying to teach people, hey, take what the market's going to give you. Take what the market's going to give you at the time. If you got a pretty decent stop loss, well, that's good. I mean, if you get a pop, and let's say you get a pop and you can get a 1 to 1, and you're like, okay, I need a 2 to 1, and then it comes back down. Are you really going to wait for a loss? You're going to get sick and tired of, well, I could have made some profits here, and then I kind of took a loss here, you know, and it's slowly going to eat away the account. It's not how you trade. PFSA, as you can see here, it's just kind of taking a dump, taking a dumper, all because of that topping tail. Topping tail didn't look good. We had 30-second, we had a pop, then we had a sell off. This pop right here, people buying, I don't think this is people taking profits from that pop. I think it's just shorters pushing it down. Which shorting these low float stocks is extremely, extremely dangerous. SABS, it's got a little consolidation right here. SABS, we got HSDT that pulled back to the VWAP. Let's take a look at SABS. SABS, yeah, look at that big consolidation area. We got big consolidation area right here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we are making a little trend line up there, but I don't trade trend lines all that much. I don't draw them because I'm looking at, I've been trading so much, been trading well over 10 years. I just don't draw the trend lines. I don't sit here and be like, oh, we got the low here. We got this right here. We got the top right here. Oh, look, we got a little wedge going on. We got boom, boom, boom. We could break up and then come back down, hold support right here, and then move back up. I just don't do it because I've been trading for so long. I'm able to look at the candles and just visualize the trend lines. I don't need to draw them. I can just visualize them. If you jump down, whoops, that was the 5 minute. Yeah. So if we look at the 1 minute here, I mean, these are not micro pullbacks. This is just a consolidation area I just stay the heck away from. Looks like we're breaking out of the consolidation area, which could be good. There we go. We did make a higher low from right down in here, which is nice. You had a nice inside bar, and you had a break of that. Got yourself 30 cents out of that. Breaking the high right there on the 5 minute. As you can see, we're making higher low right there, which is good. We broke the high right there. And if you're in on that trade, you want to jump down to a 15-second. You want to manage your trade now. This is SABS. SABS. We had news. We had private placement news. See, if you got in on that trade right here, I would have sold some because it broke that low right there. Right up in here, I'd be looking, be locking stuff in. You're not going to get this whole move right here. You're not going to get from here to here and get yourself 50 cents. If you did, that's fine. What you're looking for is to get this kind of move right here and get yourself 25 cents. Just get a slight move. Get that, starts moving up, you get that pop. How you can play this is if you're going to play this bar right here, nice green bar, volume picking up, it's above the VWAP. You're thinking we're going to break $4 mark, and you can jump down to a 30-second chart, and then you can be like, okay, we're going to break this. We got volume, and then you can try and buy it right here at 412. Try to get yourself 435. Jump down to a 30-second chart, then, or you can jump down to a 30-second chart in the beginning. When you started seeing this move on the 1 minute, you got an indecision bar right there. Of course, it kind of broke. I wouldn't be trading that. But then we had a bullish engulfing right here. You can try to get in on the break right there. Right there. Because you got volume coming in. And then you can try to get your move right here. Like 412, 422. You know, you're not looking to get a whole move. You're not looking to try to get this whole move right here. You're looking to try to get this move right here and get yourself 15, 20 cents. Because it all adds up. I mean, 15 cents, you get 15 cents on 1,000 shares, that's 150 bucks. 20 cents, that's like $200. That will slowly build an account up pretty decently. But as you can see, as we go up, we will come back down. Just waiting for 8:30 news. And I have to look into this. The SABS had news, but then it's not showing up here. So I definitely have to kind of look into that to see what's going on with the code. You want to get in on this move here. You want to stay away from this little chop area right up in here. Right here, you want to stay away from. You're only really looking. So many people think scalping is taking like 10, 15, 20, 50 trades a day. No. That's if you want to play this HSDT on a 1 minute, you can play the break of this right here. We had the MACD coming up, we had the volume kicking in, we had a slight micro pullback here. The volume is not as high, so you can get on the break you can get in right here and then get out right here, get about 50 cents. I mean, that's fine. You can do that. You can even do this right here. We had a nice run up. We had a micro pullback. Let's say you got in on the break of that, got that indecision candle right there on that 1 minute, and you want to get out for about 30 cents. I mean, if you have the account, 1,000 shares at 30 cents is $300. 2,000 is $600. Let's say we just round it out to 500 because you want to take a little bit of profit, and then it kind of starts moving back on you and you don't get out where you want. Let's say it's $500 for the day. That's one good trade. HSDT with news had decent trade, a little pop, little break right there with volume coming in, bullish engulfing. It was forming right there. We had the 5 minute making higher lows. You can get yourself a pop. You can get yourself on 2,000 shares to get 25 cents. On 2,000 shares, that's $500. And that's just one trade. And that's all you're looking for. You're not looking to be trading. You're not looking to be trading inside this area right here with all this chop crap. Don't do that. Be disciplined. Stay the heck away from it. Trade. If you want to try and trade this chop, try to trade the break right there. Had a nice huge green candle with volume coming in. You can get in on that break and you jump down to a 30-second. Let's say you get in on that break, and let's say you only get the break from right here, and it starts selling off, and you get out right here. That's 6 cents. 1,000 shares, $60. You know, I mean, it's trading 100,000 shares right there. 28,000, 100,000 shares right there. 73,000. You can easily get in like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares you can get in and out because it's with volume. You're able to get in and out. You want to sell into the pop because once this thing starts selling off right here, it is going to be hard to get out. If you're holding like 20,000 shares, it is, and you're trying to get out. I mean, you on this candle right here, you could be like on a break even. And by the time you get out, you're in a massive loss because you can't get out in time. It's pre-market. You got to do these limit orders. You don't want to trade this crap right here. You want to trade these moves that are this right here. Trade these moves. We had a run up. We had a micro pullback. MACD is curling up. Now, the volume on that inside bar right there on that micro pullback, yeah, that was kind of high, but you could have gotten in on the break of this right here, and got out as we ran up. You got yourself easily a quarter. Ran up here, get about another 50 cents. So, I mean, we're looking at 40,000 shares, 50,000 shares, 20,000. This right here is TradingView, and it's not hooked up to my broker because my level 2 is, but there's more volume coming in. I mean, you got the dark pools trading, things like that. So you got more volume coming in. So getting in on a couple thousand, 2,000 shares on like a $4 stock, $4,000. I mean, with a broker, if you're trading like with an offshore broker and it's giving you now the one offshore broker I'm going to take a look at, it has to be a $5 stock for you to get the leverage. So that's the thing. But you're not looking to get the move like down here to up here. You're looking to get these small moves right here and get yourself like a quarter. Go with the volume, sell into the pops and get your money. HSDT. Look at that. HSDT had nice, big top tail. Nice sell off. Ain't nothing going on. PFSA had news perfect announces equity line of credit to initiate a Bitcoin treasury strategy. PFSA. Let's take a look at PFSA. Okay, PFSA, we had news that it was at 8 o'clock. PFSA news at 8 o'clock. PCS. BTCS, nothing there. PFSA. The PFSA. Whoops. PFSA had news. PFSA had news. It was at 8 o'clock. We had a pop, and then we had a drop right there. If you look at the 1 minute, yeah, we had a pop right there on the 1 minute. MACD's curling up, but we had a big topping tail right there. This candle right here, we had a tail right there and the tail on the top. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for nice, strong candles. When the news come out, 8 o'clock the news came out. So 8 o'clock, yeah, 8 o'clock the news came out. I mean, if you want to jump down to a 30-second at 8 o'clock, I mean, that's fine. 15-second chart, that's fine. Yeah, see, there's still nothing there because at 8:01, this is the candle, but this pullback right here is that topping tail in the 1 minute. There's nothing here. There's nothing here by the time, yeah. I mean, I just wouldn't trade it. Just because you have news and a pop don't mean it's going to be a good one. You're looking for high volume. If you look at a 1 minute, 130,000 volume, yeah, that's pretty good. And you got 50,000 volume, yeah, that's pretty good. But the trade didn't set up pretty good. Now, if we had this pop, and then we started breaking this area right up in here with volume starting to push back up, then yes, that's a good trade. 50 cents and then try to run it all the way up here, get yourself 10 cents. Yeah, that's a good trade. But that didn't happen. APLM, yeah, it's 375, but it's volume's extremely low. You got SABS, it's still, people are pushing around on that. Yeah. I mean, the best trade so far, well, GCTK, before I started streaming, that was decent. HSDT is the biggest trade so far. I'm going to go get more coffee. I mean, if you look at this, below the session VWAP, HSDT, below the session VWAP, not going to SABS, below the session VWAP, not going to do it. I mean, right here, you got all this chop area. This is the area you wanted to be in right here. Get yourself a small move, like 10, 20 cent move. Oh boy. Alrighty, I'm back. SABS. Wow, you taking a dump? AMIX, not enough volume. 2 million float, not enough volume. Yeah, I'm back. Got some coffee. The wife and kids are up. Sitting in my office, drinking my coffee. And I'm done for the day. Not even 8:30 and I'm done. I made my money on HSDT. But I will admit, earlier it was not a good day. For some reason I come in, I get I'm working on my first cup of coffee. I get a couple of sips and I'm just not in it. And then for some reason in the morning, my first trade, usually a loser. Don't know why. small. I go in small. I either break even or lose a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And then all of a sudden, the next trade is like boom, and then the next trade after that, boom. Like GCTK. GCTK. That was a nice trade right there. For the market open, nice trade. Boom. GCTK. But then HSDT, it was kind of hurting the profits I made on that. First trade of the day was good, but then the second trade I was kind of losing. But GCTK, I don't know why I was playing that, but hey, right up in here, yeah, it was right here. Boom, took a loser. Boom, took a winner. So for some reason, the first trade is usually because GCTK was before the market, before I started streaming. I took a loser and then I took a winner. So, it's for some reason the first trade, I don't know why I can lose on it. KWM with news. What's the news on KWM? Media announces investment in strategic partnership with Galaxy Digital to accelerate Bitcoin treasury. Oh my God, these Bitcoin crap. All this Bitcoin crap. Look at that. Look. No. Topping tail. Big topping tail. I mean, you could possibly try to trade that break, but look at that volume, man. I mean, you could possibly trade that break. If you did trade that break, you're at 465. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of hard. Now you're down. Yeah, that's just. And the main reason I don't like this, look at this. We're at a 30-second chart, so the first two bars are going to be the 1 minute. You had a nice little pop at 8:30, 8:30 a.m. We got some news. 8:30 a.m. We had a nice little move, and look at it. Boom, sold off. I mean, look at that big topping tail in the 1 minute. No, don't do that. That's not what you want to see. You want to see just continuous volume coming in, moving up, not spiking down, having top and tails. You want to be moving up. AMIX. Popped up AMIX. It's nothing there. Plus, we ain't got no catalyst, so there's no news. LMFA is 375 on the TZ score, but there's nothing there. You got APLM. I looked at that earlier. There's nothing there. SAGT. Whoops. SAGT with news. Popped off. SAGT right here. Global Limited achieves 144% growth in revenue. Profit surges. Yeah. SAGT, you can probably jump down to a 30-second and try to trade that. Problem is, MACD's curling back down. The 5 minute is kind of, we had a small tail right there. We're trading below the session VWAP, so that's probably, yep, look at that. Boom. That's a no-go. You stay out of it. DFDV. Again, just because we got that spike up there, look at that. We're selling off with volume right here. It's not what I want to see. Yes, we're moving down, but we're below the session VWAP. No. That's a no-go on that. DFDV, I looked at that earlier. That's nothing there. Let's go back to SAGT. Yeah, I just don't like that just because SAGT, we did have news. The news came out at 8:30. So news came out at 8:30, popped up on the RVOL scanner. I think it did. And we got volume coming in, but the problem is, and then you could get on the break of that right there at 250 and try to sell. I mean, yeah, not enough. The volume's kind of low. So I don't think it popped up on the RVOL scanner, because the RVOL scanner, it needs to have like 50,000 volume for it to pop up, because I changed that. Yeah. Well, we got GCTK. There's nothing there. Yeah, SABS has news, but that's nothing. We got a GCTK with 214,000 volume. But the problem is that it's below the session VWAP, and we kind of moved up to it, and we kind of pulled back. We kind of moved up to it, broke a little bit, and then they pushed it right back down below the session VWAP. So that's just kind of like no. And then we're making a lower low right here, because if you look right here in this consolidation area, we made this low right here, so that's kind of concerning. That's not showing me strength, showing me weakness, so you just stay out of it. You want to be making higher lows. Like right here, we had a pullback. Right here, we had a pullback. We had a low. We had a low. Had this area right here that is a low. So we broke the session VWAP. We pulled back. We have this area right here. We're making a higher low. So you could try to get in on the break right here, hoping you're going to break the session VWAP. But again, we pulled back off. But then right up in here, we made this low right here, which is a lower low. Do not get in, but yet we did get a pop. But once we got that pop, got an inside bar right here with the micro pullback. The MACD is spreading apart, and then you can get in and get that pop, try to get yourself some money. That's the kind of stuff you want to be looking at all the time. And the more screen time you have, the more you're going to see this. It's going to be easier for you to see it. Yeah, just about everything's below the session VWAP. I just wouldn't. HSDT, SABS, PFSA, yeah, it's all below the session VWAP. I wouldn't touch it. Plus, we got a trending down. I mean, if we look at this, We were holding the VWAP. Of course, we sold off right there. We reclaimed it. Got that, but then kind of SABS, yeah. We had a nice pop right there. Breaking consolidation, selling to that pop, but look at it, it just smokes right back down. That's a huge, right? 1 minute. Massive selling. PFSA had a pop right here on news, and sometimes you're not fast enough. I mean, and you got the news, and then all of a sudden it pops, and then it sells right back off. You're not going to be quick enough to do that unless you got some algo code to be able to trade with. Yeah, you're not going to do it. Human beings not fast enough. PRZO. There's no news. PRZO, no news. PRZO Technologies, no news. There's nothing there. Not enough volume. Got 14,010. Right here, the volume was 100,000, but we did get a nice little pop. Look at PRZO. For the session, it's only traded 328,000 shares for the session. There's nothing there. Wouldn't trade it. There's DP. We got DPRO. There's no news, but it showed up on the TZ score. There's really nothing there. When you look at the 5 minute, we kind of popped and then we kind of sold off. As you can see right here. $8.46. I would not even think about DPRO just because look at the volume on that. That's high volume. Bullish engulfing and just back down. And that slam down right there, that was that sell right here on the 5 minute. HSDT, that's nothing there. I mean, we're rolling into 9 o'clock. 8:47, rolling into 9 o'clock. If you made your money for the day, you'd walk away. Yeah. TRZO, selling. Got nothing here. FSA, that was popping. Pump and dump. It pumped up and then it dumped. We got some earnings today. Let's take a look at the news. I want to get the news. You want to go to financialjuice.com. Take a look at the news right here. Today's the 21st. Verizon earnings call at 8:30. Yeah, we really got nothing. If you take a look right here, you want to go to financialjuice.com and you can sign up. And then you can just if you want to go to Elite, that's fine. You have to pay for that, or you can just stay here. What I do and just use it for free for the news. That's what you want to do. Right now, we don't have anything showing up on the Verizon earnings call at 8:30. That's fine. That was VZ. VZ is Verizon. Yeah. As you can see right here on earnings, 657 earnings at 8:30, but there was nothing there. But you can see right here, we had a little bit of volume coming in. I mean, if you did play that, had nice volume, about 30 cents. Yeah. I mean, if you want to play the blue chips, I do sometimes. I usually play them after the market opens. If you have a really good day, you can switch over to the blue chips and keep chipping away on making 50, 25, 50, $100 here and there. I mean, you can't go in like 1,000 shares unless you've got like a large account. But you can make your money on the pre-market, and you still want to trade, you can go over to the blue chips and trade it. And if we look at this, I don't want to do that, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing there. The FSA, the FSA has 375 quarter, 3.75 score, but the problem is that below session VWAP, and it's below the VWAP here. So yeah, it's kind of moving down. That's why it's got a low score. It's 375. It's okay, but I like trading the fives. Look, I'm not seeing the volume. SABS, it still has volume, but it's not looking too hot. SABS, if you do play that, you could play right here. Whoops. Play right there at support level. Try to get these breaks. You got a little pullback with volume though. Why you really don't want to do it. You look at that trend line, that was a break right there. And if we did get some volume coming in, we had this break right here. You could pop at, let's say, 350. You could possibly run up to 360. So AMIX, AMIX. LMFA. LMFA, nothing there. AMIX. You see how when you get in on these trades early enough, like AMIX, you didn't get in early enough. But as you can see here, the MACD is separating and moving up. We have a volume coming in here, but it didn't show up on the trade on the RVOL scanner because there wasn't enough volume. By the time it showed up on RVOL scanner, we're up here, but the trade's over. I mean, there wasn't enough volume in here for it to show up on RVOL scanner. That's why we didn't get this trade. It didn't show up. But as far as of a pattern, this is what you want to look for. Above the session VWAP. Well, now that we are breaking this area right here, we broke the 208. Now we're at 212. So yeah, you could get in on this. I'm not playing that. I've already made my money. But the problem is boom, boom, boom. You had to break right there of this area right here of 208. So you broke the 208, kind of came back down. But what I want to go over is this right here. This right here, we had to run up that doji candle with volume. And then we had a micro pullback right here. You get in on the break of this candle right here. Your stop is down there. That's like a 5-cent stop. Once it broke that high right there, you could possibly even add to it. So if you added 1,000 shares right here, add in 1,000 shares, and then as it runs up to the 208 to right to this area right here, you can take half off and move to a break even. Once it actually broke, you could actually even add to the trade thinking it's going to keep moving, but once it starts coming back down, you can get out. That's how you trade it. You don't try to get these whole moves right here. You just try to get a portion of it. But there wasn't enough volume. That's why it didn't show up on the RVOL scanner. Now it is showing up with news, AMIX with news showing up. Medical center granted in the U.S. patent to advisement supply. Yeah, so the news is pretty decent. But let's take a look at AMIX. 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 We got a pullback, but the volume's kind of low. Got some sellers, people hitting the bid. 214. T12, T10. Problem with this is we had this right here, massive volume right there. That's a little concerning. MACD's rolling back over. Switch over to a 1 minute. AMIX has news. If you broke this area to 218, but the problem is those 3 candles with the volume bars. That's little. We don't have much volume, and yeah, don't have much volume coming in, so you can't really go down to a 15-second chart. That's kind of hard to do. Got a score of 3.75. Looks like the selling could be coming in if we break that low. Yep, if we break 205, yeah, people, we got some big orders at 206. You got bids, asks. If you break 205, you're going to sell. But if we break 214, you could possibly run up, but it's consolidating. The volume's drying up. Traders are not picking it up and running with it. That's the problem. Got a little bit of volume coming in. Can we get it? At 8,000. I saw an 8,000 on the bid. I don't know, but they got yanked. Um, yeah, they're pushing it down. They're trying to keep it down. They're just pushing it down. And we broke it. And we're selling. So I knew if we broke that 205, it would sell. We broke the 205, then it sold down to 2. AMIX, and we got the 5 minute that's not looking too hot, making lower lows on the 5 minute. I mean, the 5 minute could be doing a forming a hammer candle if we trade above. open. That'll be nice. But we got some big volume right there. MACD's rolling over. Hard to get in on that play because it didn't show up on there. We got bond. But there's no news on that. Loaded VWAP, so there's nothing there. Got bond. Nothing there. AMIX, that's just selling. CTK. That's below the session VWAP. We got GVH. Don't know what that is. That split. Yep. 1 to 200 split. Trying to make sure you stay on the NASDAQ. If it trades below $1 and it stays on there too long, the NASDAQ will give them a warning. And what these companies do is they do reverse splits. So yeah. We got our DHL. Our DHL, but there's no news. Down to a 30-second. Our DHL. We're going to go ahead and sell half right there. I was in at 303 at RDHL. I'm going to go ahead and sell of it. Booked some profits on that. RDHL, I'm in at 303, so it's 360 now. So we can see what it runs up to. RDHL doesn't have any data for a small winner. RDHL got in at 302. I got in at 302, which is right here. So it broke that, got in at 302, and then I sold at 315, which was right here. I sold half of it, and then I just waited, and as you see here, it started breaking that, so I just dumped the rest of them. So that was just a quick one for cents. But RDHL popped up on the RVault. So it popped up, RDHL, right here, and we got news. Receives positive FDA federal to pathway approval of groundbreaking for Crohn's disease. For Crohn's disease. This thing was moving so fast I didn't even read the news, the title of it. It just popped up. I just saw it had news, and by the time, so it popped up here. We had news. It popped up on the scanner right here is when it popped up, but we had news at 9 o'clock. So news came in 9 o'clock. as you can see right here, RDHL news right down here. You can actually read the news. You click on that read, it'll take you up here to read it, so you can actually read it. But RDHL, as you can see here, it popped up. But then I jumped over to a 30-second chart. It popped up right here, and as we had a micro pullback right here, the volume was kind of low. MACD was spreading apart. So I got in on the break right there. Got in on the break right there. My stop is down here at 20 cents. Problem is, this is what I'm saying. If you're looking for those two to ones, I mean, that's great, or the 1 to ones, that's great. But did I make 20 cents out of this? No, I made 10 cents because I was looking for it, and it broke this, and I thought we were going to run. As we broke and we got up here, I was looking at level 2, and I just sold half, and then I knew if we broke back below this area, below this, I was going to get out because got that pop, I sold half. Our break even is right here. Once we broke the low of that, I wanted out because it's coming back down to my break even. And when I sold it, I got in at 3.02 at 3.02, and I sold at 3.15, and then I sold the rest of it at 3.06 at 3.06 because it was selling off. It broke this area right here at 30. It broke that area 308. It broke it to 307. I was looking at level 2. It was 306, so I had to dump it, and I did. And I was able to dump it because we got enough volume coming in. So I was able to dump it. Now, if you get down in this area past here, keep going down, you might not be able to get out as quickly. You can see here, it just dumps. So you have a nice pump, and then you have a dump. That's how it's played. So it's RDHL. Now, AMIX 850. So this right here, I took a small loss on this because I was thinking it was going to come back up. Didn't. It sold off. So I took a loss on that. I mean, AMIX has news, and I was hoping that it would run, but I should have looked at this volume here and noticed the volume was high, so that was kind of my stupidity. AMIX, I took a small loss on that. Yeah. Yeah, AMIX, took a loss on that. Sometimes when you're trading this, like RDHL was good because we had news that came out at 9, was it RDHL at 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock. We had news that came out. So we had the news right here at 9 o'clock. It came out. I didn't get in until about right here, but it was running up. Had a like pullback right here on the 32nd. As you see, it was running up. You're not going to get in right here. Now, if you got in right here on the break of it, that's good. That was a nice trade. If you got in on the break of this on the news. You got yourself a nice 25-cent trade. EFSA, nothing. AMIX. RDHL. That's what we were looking at, RDHL. We had another run up here, and then we had a slight pullback right here, a little micro pullback. MACD spreading apart. Get in right up in here, and then sell right up in here. Sell into the pop, sell half. Once you start looking at level 2, and you've got people hitting the bid, like I saw people hitting the bid, and I saw large orders coming in, I just get out. Reverse split IVF. GVH was reverse split as well. IVF was a reverse split. I was trading down here at 80 cents. I was trading at $2, but yeah, one reverse split of 1 to 3 on Monday 21st. So these reverse splits they can be played later on. I mean, you're not going to get in on this reverse split. You don't know when they're happening. So if you think you're going to get in at $1 and sell it at $2, you're crazy, because you don't know when they're happening. The thing is, on the NASDAQ, to be listed on the NASDAQ, there's certain requirements. And I think it's once it starts trading below $1 and you stay down there like they did. I mean, look at this. They stayed down there. So what these companies do, they do a reverse split to get their stock back up. And that's what happens. A lot of times these reverse splits, they'll sell off, and then as they sell off, they'll put out a press release, and then they'll run back up to try to keep it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if GVH and IVF showed up a few days from now or a week from now with a press release, a positive press release, just to push it back up, because they want to keep listed on the NASDAQ. NTCL, nothing there. Would not touch it. Would not touch it. I mean, look at a 4,000 volume, 5 million float, 4,000 volume. There's nothing there. HSDT, we've already done that. That was the biggest trade of the day. Not touching it anymore. And the trades that I did, like AMIX, yes, that was a losing trade, but it was very little. So I gave back a little bit of profits that I made today. RDHL. So I went in kind of light on that, and I kind of made a little bit of money back on that. ATNF. Yeah, that's an RVOL scanner, but that was selling off. PRZO popped up again. There's really nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there. SABS, still grinding sideways. Below the session VWAP, so I wouldn't even take a look at it. Got bond that came out again. You got IGC on the press releases. Yeah, there's nothing there. You got GOCOF. What kind of crazy ticker is that? I don't know what that is. That's some crazy stuff right there. DEVS, 16 million float. Let's take a look at this. Nothing down here. We got bond with news. Of course, that shows up right here. Yeah. SAGT. Yeah. Nothing. NTCL, there's nothing. And then you got 200% move, you got GVH, IVF. Those are reverse splits. You can't get in on those. And if you do, you know that it's being done beforehand, and then it's insider trading. Um, Okay, I'm back. Yeah. There ain't much going on. 927. I think I'm gonna switch over to uh IBKR because that's what my account's with. I think on my charts, I'm just gonna start showing IBKR charts. I want to start showing IBKR charts just because it's hard for me to look at this and then switch over to yeah. Because at RDHL trade, we got in on it real quickly, and I almost missed that pop right there. Um, that was a nice bullish engulfing candle right there. Then it came back to my break even, but I held it because of the volume, and then it came up here and then sold off. So yeah, that happened real quickly. I think what I'm going to do is get away from trading view charts and just show my IBKR charts, my interactive broker charts. Uh, yeah, I mean, kind of hard to show my level 2 as well. If I didn't have the scanner here, I could show the charts and the level 2. I don't have that because I'm working off 1920 by 1080 because that's good for YouTube. Plus, I need to be at 1920 by 1080 because of the ultra low latency. Nine 930, it's going to be opening up soon. What I'm going to do is keep the RVOL movers there. I'm going to take away that low float gainers, top traded, biggest gainers. Put the biggest movers up here. These haven't updated yet. Now the low floaters, this is market's going to open up in a few seconds. Market's already open. So it's going to take a while for this to, it's going to take another minute or two to churn through the data and for us to get the top traded. It needs to get the volume and then biggest gainers, the low floaters. It should update. There we go. Low floaters have updated. We got STEIM, SBET, STIM, STEM, STIM, STEM, STEM, STM, at STEM, PG, PGEN. I'd stay away from that. STEM might be looking good. STEM might be looking good. And again, I'm missing this because I have to come over. STEM. Yeah. 14 cent STEM. Don't know if we're going to be moving or not. It's a 20 quarter, and you break 16. TEM. Yeah, I need to switch over to my charts for interactive brokers because it just happens too quickly. I need to click on two things. MEIP. MEIP. MEIP was a good trade. You could have gotten in on the break of that. Come on, update. Got some movers on there. That was the 1 minute. Yeah, we had a micro pullback and then the break of that. Something got yourself a quarter. You got to be quick on that though. That's why you want to pick something and run with it. So the low floaters, if you want to trade those, you can trade those. Come over here to the biggest gainers top traded. You can go to VERI and then come over here to go to the open. That's not trading too much. BZAI. And down here, MFH, ABCL, NVTS. And then you can just start looking to see what's moving. I'm going to switch over to my IBKR charts. And right here, we can go to the low floaters. Take a look at those as well. You can look at top traded, the biggest movers, or you can come up here and put the low floats up here. Take a look at the low floaters. Got MEIP, MEIP. Got STEM. I'm still trading at a 10-cent spread, 22-cent spread. That's crazy. DPRO. Got DPRO. DPRO. Got MEIP. That looks like RO. Got another one down there. APLM. DPRO. We got volume MEIP. IP. PDPRO. PRO short sale restriction. SABS. PS is looking really good. MEIP. DPRO. That's not even moving. Got MEIP. SABS that really popped. Yes. That has gotten halted. Trading is halted on SABS. Look at SABS. 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 I got in at 4.55. Yes. Got in at 4.55. Sold a little bit at 478. 455 got half out at sold some at 466, sold some at 478, and I'm holding some at 511. But if you look at the 30-second chart here, this was a nice trade on SABS. So if that was on your radar because it was traded earlier, and we had a micro pullback, and we had a break of the high right there at 418, could have gotten yourself a nice little move, and then we had a micro pullback here, and as it started coming up here, that would have been a nice trade. We had another break, and then it just started running back up, and now it's gotten halted, so we're waiting. As you can see here, all our vol movers. We got SABS, private placement. Hey, we're just sit and wait. I'm looking at the bid and ask for the Nasdaq. It's like 520. We could be opening up 512, opening up at 512. Kind of like where it's at now. I'm looking at the level 2. Uh, 515. I saw 515, 513. So it looks pretty decent. At least we're not going to open up lower. Usually when you get halted up, it just keeps climbing. Then we could halt again. 516, 517. $518. There's a 520 again, so we could open up at 520 once it resumes trading. $525. This is looking nice. SABS, we were looking at that. SABS, we had that on there. So you just kind of look at these at the low floaters, bring it all up, see what's trading. STEM SABS is back trading again. SABS. My average on SABS is 455. We got $6. Got 6/4. Can we get 6/2? Ooh, that's not looking good. Get 6/2. $76 is my average I added to on that micro pullback and a break. What I did was I just added right there. My stop is at 597. Get to 6/2. I'm out. Oh well. Stem's got a pullback. SABS was nice. We had a run up. We had a little flag there. We had a break of that. I was in at 455. We had a nice little $1.50 move so far. DPRO, we kind of pulled back. This was pullback. Could have played that right there, maybe. Was it in topping tail? I don't know. But right here, we got stem. We got MEIP that finally popped. But I was in on MEIP, but I dumped it for a small loss because it just wasn't moving. So I just dumped it. And SABS, I made my money back on that and then some. So that was good. MEIP wants to now run. Oh well. Stem, we got stem. On the 30-second chart, we got stem. We had a run up. Had a break of that. We kind of pulled back. Had nice volume there. Go to a 1 minute. There's just not enough volume, to be honest, for stem. It's hard to get in and out real quick. Got stem. Stem's already made its move. We had the MACD with separation there. We had a pop. We had consolidation, a little pullback area, a break of the high there. Then we had another micro pullback right here, another break of the micro pullback and ran up. Got in on that right there. Got out right here. That's a nice dollar move. I mean, Stem's trading on the session 1.2 million. That's pretty decent. SABS, it looks like we got some top and tail, so I'd be staying out of that. MEIP, I got out for a small loss. That was actually a winner. And even then some, it's moving. Stem was just, yeah, that was decent. I mean, we opened up, it showed up on our charts. Yeah, Stem, where's Stem? Stem's right here. Stem's $17 stock. It has 7.7 million flow, 356,000 shares on a 1 minute volume, but Stem's trading at 1.2 million. But Stem has no catalyst, so there's no news on that. We have MEIP. I don't even know why I showed up on that. SLNH. We have SLNH. There's nothing there. You've got MEIP is moving. Boy, I got rid of that too soon. We have open at the open. So come on, get out of there. I kind of sold off. That kind of ran up. I mean, when you broke the high right there at 284, that was too hard to play. Open I played last week. We got SABS and we got NVTS. NVTS was a nice one. Right here, NVTS, we have news. NAPTA Semiconductor to report Q2 financial results on Monday, August 4th, 2025. Yeah, okay. So NVS, we had pullback, and then we had a break of that. We had another micro pullback right here. You could have gotten in on that micro pullback on NVTS if you were looking at the top traded gainers. You would have gotten in on the pullback of that. Okay, a break of that you could have added to it. You had another Another little area that probably selling off. Probably get yourself about 20 cents on the trade. $8 stock, 20 cents. 1,000 shares, $200 real quick. Actually, if you want, if you held it, if you held it all the way up here, you got yourself 50 cents. You're not going to get that whole move, but if you can get 25 cents, you're good. SABS, that's looks like it's pulling back, breaking again. SABS. If you get in on that break, the volume's kind of drying up. The volume on the buying is coming in, but you're on a 1 minute. Let's jump over to a 30-second. Yeah, 30-second chart. Your trade would be there. Your stop loss is down here at 25 cents. You came up here to about 20 cents. You need to be taking some off and moving to a break even. And then you got yourself another move up. So that's looking pretty good. The MACD is kind of flatlining. So you need to have a tight stop on that. Tight stop. MACD is not showing it, but the price action is looking good. You can get yourself a small move. I don't like trading this though. This is what's called the backside. Ross Cameron calls this trading the backside. He doesn't do this. He trades the front side, the MACD moving up, which this is what I did trade. And we got a halt up, and then we opened up, then I sold it into the pop. SBET, SBET doing, or anyone, hit me up, SBET. SBET was a good one. Reclaimed the VWAP. We had a pop. We had a micro pullback inside bar. You didn't break the high of that, didn't break the low of that. So get in on the break of that. Actually, you can add to the break of that, and then you got yourself a nice 70 cent move before we pop down back to the break even. There's so much to trade. You can't do it all. You can't. Yeah, you can't. You just can't keep up. Maybe I should develop an trading bot and trade for me. I wrote the code for the scanner, doing the trading bot, just hook it up to the broker with the API and go at it. This right here is not a micro pullback. This right here, reclaiming the VWAP, that right there, that pop, that is a micro pullback. This right here, inside bar, got a pop of that, sell into that pop right there, start selling. We pop, add to the break of that, we got a pop, got a nice big move. You really want to be selling into that. This right here is not a micro pullback because that pullback is like more than half of what this area is right here. If it opened up and closed, if it opened up here and then let's say close right down here, it doesn't break that low, then yeah, that could be a micro pullback and then buy the break of that. But this right here is not, because it's that right there selling more than half of this pop right here. Alrighty. All right. I had to run and do something real quick. Yeah, that's not a micro pullback right there. This is, and that's a nice trade. This, we had a run up, micro pullback, break of that, and you come up here and make yourself 50 cents on a $32 stock. Yeah, I mean, I've got the account to be going in on a couple thousand shares and getting yourself a nice $1,000 trade, but yeah, some people don't. So I mean, go in, don't need to go in 1,000 shares, and you probably don't even need to be trading these $3 stocks. Let's see. You got right here. You got open. We have a nice little pop right here. We had a micro pullback. We had a micro pullback right here. You get in on the break of that, and you can probably ride that up for about 10 cents. 1,000 shares. That's like $3 stock. Yeah, $3,000. Get yourself 10 cents. Make yourself $100. Build that account. GFAI, we've got NVTS, we got another one, micro pullback. Boom, we got to run up on that. Yeah, we got quite a bit going on today. RXRX was RXRX. SABS is done for it. RXRX. RXRX. If you were looking at RXRX, you got yourself a pop. You got yourself a pop. You got yourself a micro pullback. You had a pop there. You got yourself a micro pullback. You do your stop down here at about 6 cents. And so far you're up about 6 cents. So, yeah, I mean, if you're in on that, you can lock in some profits and then you can just go down to a break even, which is about right now. I mean, RXRX, I don't know when that showed up. But you had another pullback area right here. This area with this doji, that, I mean, if you got in on that, got a break, you want to do it. That's a small stop right there. Small stop out right there. I mean, that area right there. But right here, you got pretty good. That's pretty strong. I think that's called a hangman. Yeah, that's RXRX could be strong, but there's no catalyst, no news, no catalyst. NVTS, we had news on NVTS right here. We had news. It's a semiconductor financial results. This is just Q2 financial results. We had a nice old pop. Get in on that, get out right there. It gets up about 20 cents, so that's 2. Micro pullback, a break of that, get out, get yourself another 10 cents, that's 30 cents. So 1,000 shares, that's $300 right there. So this scanner will definitely make you some money. This scanner will definitely make you some money. It's just, you got to be quick. You got to trade quick. Is it ADIL? ADIL. There's nothing there. MEIP. Yeah. I took a small loss on that. I'm not too worried about that. ATNF. There was nothing there. FGF. There's nothing there on FGF. SABS, there's 49 million shares. So ADIL on the RVOLs. There's nothing there. Top traded, IREN on the top traded, 227 million float, IREN. If you like trading them big floaters, you got that. We had a run up right here. This is on the top traded. I don't know when it showed up on the top traded, but there is news. It came out at 9:04. So at news at 9:04, it ran up. It pulled back to the VWAP. On a pullback, it didn't break any highs there. It only had an inside bar. Could have gotten in on the inside bar right there, but the problem is that VWAP is not looking good. And I might be changing the my indicator, my TZ score indicator. What I'm going to be doing, because I trade the VWAP, what I'm going to be doing is making a custom indicator. And I'm going to, once we have enough people trading this, what I'm going to look at is building out a charting platform with a custom indicator that I am looking for to be designing, doing anchored VWAPs with a custom indicator to be charting this. If you trade 5-minute charts, which you easily can, you had a run up here, you had a micro pullback. On a 5-minute chart, you had a break of the high of that 5-minute chart. As you can see here, the volume kind of trickled down. Then get up here on the close at, that's 40 cents. Got yourself a quarter. 5-minute chart, that's good. You had another micro pullback right here. You could get in on the break of that. The momentum is still strong. We have open that is, I traded that last week. Micro pullback and a break, but then then later on you kind of popped. That was kind of hard to trade. When I'm looking at this open's kind of hard to trade. SABS was, that was an easy trade. This was 30-second chart. That was an easy trade. If we jump over to a 1 minute, that was an easy trade. We had a pop. We had a bull flag right there. We broke it with the MACD. MACD is open to the upside, and then you get a nice move. Then we got a halt. Then we opened up higher. I sold into the pop when we got halted. Opened up higher and we popped. I sold into it, and then I sold more. And then you just move on. We got NVTS. That had news earlier. Top traded NVTS. News earlier. That's a semiconductor Q2 results. 144 million float. That's not a problem. $7 stock, you know, it's not a problem. SABS, I think, got halted again. Yes. Yep, SABS is halted again. SABS halted to the downside. That is why when you make your money here and this move right here and you get yourself $1, you want to move on because now we got halted to the downside. For you people that like to hold them and think you're going to the moon, now you're looking bad. SABS. These are pump and dumps. You don't want to be holding them. And look at this. Back there, it was $30, $40 stock. Now look at it. $2 stock. These are pump and dumps. That is all they are, pump and dumps. With news. Bio announces oversubscribed 175 million private placement. These are just pump and dumps. You put out these press releases and look at it. It looks good, and then people take their profits. Now we're halted down. You're looking, when I'm looking at level 2, the hold is going to open up at 455. So this is why you want to sell into strength. You want to buy strength and sell into strength. This is the opposite of a lot of what these YouTube gurus and all these smart money concept ICT traders, they want to just blow smoke up your butt. But I'm not going to do that. All of them, they want to say, oh, you want to get 2 to 1, 3 to 1, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. If you can get it, that's awesome. But what you need to do is look at the price action in level 2 and read what's coming into the market. You take what the market gives you. The market doesn't give a flying crap about your 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Take what you can get. NITO is nothing. SABS. SABS is holding at 455, so it's going to open up lower on the halt downwards. We halted up, and now we're halting down. HSDT. SDT. I traded that earlier. We made the money. Made the money on that pop. Now look at it. It's down. Pump and dumps. These are pump and dumps, and these are not companies you want to hold on to. These are not blue chip S&P 500 companies where you can, when it's dumping down on a blue chip company, yeah, you can buy that and hold it and sell it when it moves up higher. But these low float pump and dumps, you don't want to be doing that crap. You want to scalp them and get yourself 10, 15, 20 cents. Say, yes, SABS. We are still halted on SABS, so that it's going to open, looks like it's going to open up at 4.67, 467. It's going to open up at 467, just about where it's at. And trying to sell these things short is kind of scary. Let me get rid of this. Trying to sell these short is kind of scary because the problem is, yeah, if you can get the shares to borrow and you can sell it short, that's fine. You can make your money. The problem with selling short is you can get into extreme trouble with that trying to sell short because your risk is unlimited. SABS opened back up. I would not trade this just because right here we're just grinding down. So if you made your money up here, like we did, stay away from it because now it's just making a higher low there, lower low. This is trending down. We're making lower lows. It's bouncing off the volume weighted average price, which is fine. MACD is sliding down, so that's a stock you just want to stay away from. Make your money and move on. Move on to another stock that's going to be looking good. It's 1015 RXRX. RXRX, you made your money on that. We had a higher low right there. Could have gotten in on that ABCD pattern. You've got, we have ABCD pop right there. We had a run up. We had a pullback. We had a run. It broke it slightly, pullback. We made a lower low right here. I mean, we made a lower high right here. You can get in on the break of that. Let's take a look at that. RXRX. RXRX is a pretty decent one because right here had a pop and then you sold off, had a micro pullback. Then you can get in on the break of that at around 645. You can run up. Once you get up to here, once you get back down, you sell it for break even. Like, okay, I didn't make the trade, made a lower low, had another pullback here, get in on the break of that, and then once you get on the break of that, once it breaks this area here, with the volume coming in, you can add to the trade. Let's say your cost average is 650 and you get out at 660. Okay, that's fine, 5 cents. It just, and then you had micro pullback. You could add it to that a little bit more. Slowly building a account up. If you're going with an offshore broker, this is over $5, so this is good. You can that offshore broker you can get leverage with, and you can start trading these and making yourself $50 a day, $100 a day, and slowly build that account up. And before you know it, after a while, you'll be over the PDT rule. And then you can jump over to a US broker. We got, what we got? Take the news off on that. We got DYNX. Wouldn't touch that's below the session VWAP GCTK. Same things below the session VWAP. I wouldn't even touch that. HSDT, we traded that earlier below the session VWAP. Wouldn't touch it. I don't touch stuff under the session VWAP. IREN. Nice trade. We had a pop, pullback, inside bar right there. Do a 2-bar break. MACD curling back up there. We had another pullback. And yeah, that's a nice trade. Pop that. You're looking, and again, you're looking for a you're looking for a pullback, a run, pullback. This low is higher than this low, so you get in right here. You can get in on the break of that bar. You can wait till it closes, and you get in right here. Sell some right up in here, and sell the rest of it as it breaks that. Or what you could do, move the 8 drawings. You have this area right here. You had a pullback. Come up here, pull back. The MACD is still curling up. This pullback, you got a little bit of volume, but you could wait for a 2-bar break right here. Get in right here. Then you can add to the trade. Then as it breaks this, you start selling half of it. And then your break even is probably down in here with your cost average, because you do a starter here and you go in full, you can maybe try to go in full position here, or if you got in 1,000 shares here, you get another 1,000, 2,000 shares. Cost average is down here, so then you got to pop. That's what you want to do. You want to go in light Then as you're moving up, you want to add to your winners, not to your losers. Cut your losers quickly. If it came down here below here, then you just sell and get out. You can always get back in. You can always get back in. But you want to look at the MACD. MACD is open. We're moving up. You want to trade into the strength and add to your winners. Cut your losers quickly. That's how you make the money. FGF, there's nothing there. Got MEIP. That one I took a small loss on. LMFA. There's nothing there. There's no news there. LMFA. WGRX. Nothing. Stay away from it. CCM. Not enough volume. Just no volume. Nothing there. Yeah, it popped. Nothing there. No volume. What is the SPY doing? We are grinding up. Use. Grinding up. So Apple doing. Apple. Doing pretty good. We had a pop here. Could have, we had a slight pullback here. Didn't break that low. MACD is open. Get starter position. It breaks the high. Had another micro pullback. You could have added more to that. Sell it for like $1. You know, the same thing, the same way we're trading pre-market low floats with same way you can do it with the blue chips. LGVN with news and LGVN with news and RVOL. I don't think there's enough volume there. If you look at the ones we had on the list, NVTS, that was looking good. NVTS, you still could have traded that. If you got in, if you had that pullback there and you got in on the break of that, you got stopped out there, then you had a nice inside bar right here. The volume was kind of picking up, but then made your money back on that move right there. Got a pullback here. This didn't break the low of that. You get in right there. So that's SEGG. Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah, it showed up on the RVOL scanner with news. Fucking a quarter stock, but there's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing. SABS is the top. Yeah, there's nothing there on SABS. It got halted down, but then just trading sideways. People, I got halted up, then got halted down. Traders going to be like, nah, I'm staying away from that halt down. I'm not going to try and push this thing up. You know, that's just the way it is. You want to make your money on as it's moving up, buy into strength, sell into strength. YNX, we got some BYNX volume in there, but it's trading below the session VWAP. Don't trade anything like that. HSDT's got a score of 3.75, but then again, trading below the session VWAP, you just don't touch it. If we look at top traded gainers, NVTS has got a score of 5. That is a good one. You got IREN with news, IREN. You trade that, that's trading above the session VWAP with the TZ score of 5. I don't know when that score showed up, but you know, it showed up. And we had a run up, micro pullback. We had a little there. We had a little flag area. We broke it. We ran up. You know, this is what you want to trade. You want to trade these little pullbacks here. Let's say you get in right here. Stop is down there. Break, you can add to it. Make yourself like 50-cent move. Don't try to get this whole move right here. Don't try and get this whole move. There's no way you're going to get, once it sold off and we met a higher low, how are you know you're going to get a $2 move? You don't. Hindsight's 20/20. It's easy to say, yeah, you can get $2. Oh, well, I'm going to get 2 to 1, 3 to 1. That's fine. You want to trade that way? Go right ahead. I like scalping, getting in and out. Instead of trying to get a $2 move, I'll take 10, 20 cents here and there and get like 10 cents, then get 20 cents, then get another 20 cents, make yourself 50 cents. Go in with like, I mean, instead of trying to get a $2 move, I go in and try to get like 25, 50 cents. That's great. And make yourself go in with like a couple thousand shares, make yourself some decent money. Don't try to get these big whole moves. Did you get a 2 to 1, 3 to 1? Absolutely. But you don't know that when you're trading it. You know, right here, if you get this move right here, get a pullback, get a break of that, get this move, start selling some because you got a little doji candle. You broke the low of that, got out with 50 cents. So you got out with 50 cents right there. But it popped, started grinding sideways, popped, and we had a nice little move. But did you know that when it was going here, when MACD was curling down and we were kind of like grinding down a little bit? Did you know that? No, you did not. So you're probably trying to sell right here because you got a profit. Didn't know it was going to pop. Did you get in on to break that high with that volume candle right there? Sure. But as you get in here and get the break of that with volume, get in there and you sell right here because it broke that low right there, that little doji candle. It broke that low. That's telling me to get out. I mean, MACD is still a little bit positive. You don't know that, and then all of a sudden you get that pop. Yeah, you didn't know that right here. That's why you can get that pop, get in, sell half. If you want to try to get, you know, your big moves, then, you know, if it comes down to your break even, get out and try to hold some. Try to make you a winner. You can do that. CLIK. There's nothing there. LUD. LUD popped up. There's nothing there. 3,000 volume. You got ATNF with about 40,000 volume. There's nothing there either. You got DYNX. That's below the VWAP, so you stay away from that. You got CCM moved up to the top of the charts at 81.3% change in change. But there's it's just there's nothing there. I mean, if I go to CCM, if I go to IBKR, trading is halted for one thing, but CCIM, the session volume is 63,000. How in the world can you get in and out of that with thousands of shares with like, I mean, you can't. So just can't. That's why you just stay away from it. Do. CARV, nothing there. A stem, you got 40,000. And yeah, stem's there, but it's sliding down. Look at that, just sliding down. Stay away from it. Get those pops up. Get into this. Make yourself some money. It popped. Showed up on the scanner. Has a little flag right here. We tried to pop right here. You possibly could have gotten stopped out. Who knows? Go right here. Get 50-cent stop. Made yourself 75 cents. It ran up, made yourself 2. So yeah, you got yourself a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 right here. When you get them, you get them. That's fine. But if you get in right here and you get this pop and it starts selling back down, you want to get out. Break even. Don't let it come to your stop. Okay, then we had another candle with green, a little bit. Okay, so then we broke this. So let's try it again. Pop up. Yeah, you sell some. You got a little micro pullback there, a little volume right there. Get in on the break of that. This candle right here did not trade below that micro pullback, and the volume is kind of low. So what you can do is get in on the break of that. Maybe if you go in like 2,000 shares, get in 1,000 shares. When it breaks this high and you got volume coming in, and you're looking at level 2 and people are hitting the ask, then yeah, go ahead. Get yourself a nice little move. That's how you want to play it. And then again, right here, we had another micro pullback. We had volume kind of drying up. We had a green candle with volume. I mean, you can get in on at 1775. CCM open back up. You can get in right here at 1775. Your stop is down here at 17. Got up to $18. And this is a whole number. If you can get to $18, but yet the volume is not there, the MACD is kind of flatlining. I mean, why do you want to wait until it hits your stop? When it comes back down to your break even, get out. Just get out. Or you can take a small winner and get yourself like 20 cents. Sell a little bit. When it comes back to your break even, get out. You can always get back in. If it breaks this, you can always get back in. Where in trading does it say that you can't get back in? If you're in a winner and it comes back to your break even, why do you want it to come back to your stop loss? Why not just get out? Reevaluate the trade. If the volume dried up, then all of a sudden the buyers start coming in, people are slamming into the ask, and the volume's coming in, and you break that high, sure, get back in. Try to come up here. Get back in at 18. Try to get back up here at 18.5. Try to get yourself 50-cent move. Whoever says that's not valid is just stupid, I think. You can always get out at break even and reevaluate, reassess the trade. If the tape is telling you and level two is telling you the buyers are, are pushing it and it breaks, you can always get back in. I know some people are going to say, "Oh, but the commissions, blah 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 blah." Well, if you're trading with a good broker, your commissions ain't going to be that much. I mean, I'm on the IBKR Pro plan. My commissions are very low. I don't care about getting in and out with like a couple thousand shares. I do not care. I don't even consider a problem with the commissions. I just don't care about commissions. I'm with a decent broker. Now, I am looking at Cobra Trading because that is really nice, and I did fill out the paperwork and get in there, and I might switch over and do some trading with them. But the problem is they're charting IBKR. I kind of like it because I think I'm going to be switching over to be using IBKR charts just because that's where I'm executing my trades. And when I'm in on trading view and then it's like, oh, okay, this is setting up, then I got to go over to my level two. I got to type in that ticker and it's just a pain in the butt. And sometimes you miss it. ONDS, 154 million float, ONDS. Yeah, that's pretty decent. We had a run up, we had a pullback. Yeah, micro pullback, break of it, get a little bit. Now that I wouldn't have traded because it broke that too much. But we had a pullback here. Get a break of that, who knows? But the MACD is kind of sloping back down, so you kind of want to stay away from it. You want to go in when MACD is open like this. Get your micro pullbacks. If it did pop up, if top traded, if ONDS did pop up here and you get this micro pullback, that is what you want. So if ONDS and it's with news at 8:30, ONDS Holdings retires all outstanding convertible notes, fortifies strong balance sheet and liquidity position. So ONDS had news. So how you want to take a look at this is we had news and we had some big volume selling coming in here and then it kind of dried up. We had this candle here that did not break the lower here, but then it broke the high of that. You possibly wait and get in on the 2-bar break. 1, 2, you get in right here at 247 and it runs up here to 250. Okay. I couldn't really break that high, but once we do break it, got this one with volume coming in. You can add a little bit to the trade and kind of move up and try to get yourself like 5 cents. So, yeah. Or you can try and hold. You can get in right here on the micro pullback. Put your stop up here. How much would that stop be? Like 5 cents. Try to get yourself 15 cents. You got yourself a 3-to-1 trade right here. I don't try and hold it all the way to that. I might be getting here and it gets pop. I mean, will I sell for 5 cents? Absolutely. Then I'll move to a break even. As it pulled back, it didn't get to my break even down here. Once it broke, I can add to it and then try and hold. I like to take a little profit. I like to get in, read the tape, read the level two. If the level two is telling me, well, it's kind of neutral, kind of drying up, take some profits. Then I put a minimal stop in, like, okay, I want to get out at a break even. Like even when I'm trading, when the market opens, I'm still trading limit orders, and I'm not putting in hard stops. I'm putting in mental stops because I'm disciplined enough to get out when I'm wrong. Uh, XPON. Yeah, you got volume. Popped up on RVol, but there's nothing really there. CLF on the top traded. DPRO, as you can see here, that was on our list. We had a nice pop here. BTS was on the list. Earlier, we're still grinding up. RXRX. Open. I wouldn't trade open just because I traded it last week. That's kind of like double dipping to me. SBET. SABS, I made HSDT, I made most of my money that with pre-market. SABS, I made good money after the market opened on that. SABS. We traded this right here, this little pop right here. We made most of our money because it got halted and opened up higher and then sold into this strength here. And it's a good thing because now look at us. We're down. Kind of like really slammed down here, and we got halted on the downward halt. So yeah, that's it is what it is. I got in on the break of that. We got a pop, selling to the pop, got halted. We opened up higher, and we started. So as soon as we opened up, I sold more. Then as it started popping, moving up, I sold even more. I am not going to try and hold for the moon. There's nothing there. DRMA, there is absolutely nothing there. SABS. Yeah. I thought I was done for the day before, like before the market opened up. I said I was done for the day. I made my money, but then SABS turned out to be really good. MEIB, MEIB, or MEIP. I can't remember. Yeah, MEIP, MEIP. Um, I, I, I think it was up in here. Yeah, it was up in this area. It was up in this area right here that I tried to just kind of dip in on a starter position. It didn't move and it started grinding, so I got out for a small loss. And MACD was kind of flatlining, so I got out at a small loss. Sure enough, we popped, but by then I had already moved on to SABS. So I took a loss on this one, and then SABS, and then right here, got in on that pop. ATNF. Yeah, it popped up on the RVol scanner because we got some volume coming in. It's higher than the previous. So yeah, open is still got a score, a pretty decent score. So if you've been trading that, that's good. Get in on uh, right here. Right here would have been good. MACD has opened up. reclaim the VWAP, an inside bar, get in the break of that high right there. Yeah. This right here, the 5 minute higher lows. This is what you're looking for. Buying the dips, little micro pullbacks here. 5 minute making lower, making a higher lows. Candles green is breaking that 5 minute. You buy into that, then this kind of sells off a little bit. Had a little inside bar right there. You can get in on break right here. That 5 minute, the 5 minute right there has a little topping tail right there, so you might not want to go in heavy. Get yourself a little bit of move. BEM popped up. BEM, there's nothing there. Not enough volume. CTNM, yeah, the score says it's there, but there's not enough volume. SABS, selling off. IREN. Earlier that was good. This area right here was good. VWAP is still open. This area is bad. Even though you have a pullback right here. This area right here, and also you have a break of this high right here. Yeah, but the VWAP, I mean the MACD is just kind of flatline a little bit. Kind of hard to, it's really hard to trade that. I like to trade these nice open VWAPs like this right here. We had a pullback, it ran up, we had a pullback, and then we get in on this, where the MACD is starting to curl back up, as Ross Cameron says, and you get yourself a little winner. That's how you want to trade it. Cut your losers quick and add to your winners. Once you learn that, you'll be making some decent money. All right, 1046. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Have a good one.